Hi guys, so I'm doing something a little bit different today. Like, the YouTube channel name is Misha's Manic Musings, so it's been a little bit all of the same at the moment, so I thought I would do something more about one of my other loves in life. Apart from makeup, apart from books, which will soon be on the channel I'm sure, my other love is films, as you can gather from what we're looking at here. Oh, Laurel and Hardy down the bottom there. There's quite a few, and they don't all fit in the shot. So on the top left there, that's all my Disney animations. So we've got Blu-rays, steelbooks, and one DVD. Then the next couple of rows down here is Blu-rays. So that's, I don't have a big collection, I've only been collecting them for maybe a couple of years now, something like that. So I don't have a big collection, and then along the very bottom row that you can just see is TV shows. That's also TV shows in there as well that I need to watch. And then there's my DVDs, which I'm gradually cutting down on. The ones that I can find on Blu-ray, unless the extras are different, I just get rid of the DVDs. But apart from that, that's them all. So that's just a quick overview. Let's get into the actual video. I'm not going to go into too much detail about these. I mean, some of them I have and haven't watched. I'm pretty sure this was actually my first ever Blu-ray. I'm pretty certain it was. I remember this being in the Lightning deals on Amazon, so you got a Blu-ray collector's edition with 3D and everything. And I remember someone saying to me in work, you need to get that, and I was like, I don't have a Blu-ray player, I didn't at this point. They were like, well, don't get it then. And I was like, well, you know, and then I think I ended up buying it. So you've got the 3D feature part 1, you've got the 3D feature part 2, and then you have the feature film and the special features. I have loved this film for years, as probably everyone knows already, and I remember I bought this and it stayed sealed. I think it was around Black Friday actually that I bought it. I feel like that's ringing a bell there for me, and I think I actually got a Blu-ray player for my Christmas so I could finally watch it. I need to go back and rewatch this at some point because it's such a stunning film. Again, it should be a book. And there are enough books out there of the Titanic, and believe me, I own over 100 at this point. But I think it should be a book. There is actually a really weird book that I bought recently, but it seems to be like trying to be a novelisation, but not quite a novelisation. I don't know how it's going to be because it sounds really weird. I also have this, and this was the one that Julian Fellowes did, so the guy who did Downton Abbey. I actually quite enjoyed this. It wasn't the greatest. I wouldn't say it was particularly special or anything like that. I wouldn't say it was going to be particularly as memorable as the James Cameron film, which obviously you've just seen. From a Julian Fellowes point of view, bearing in mind I haven't actually watched Downton Abbey, I don't really know anything about it at all. This is worth watching, and it was really good. And I bought it again. I love this film. It's along the same lines as Doomsday for me, those kind of films. It's got Robert Carlyle in it as a vicar. Zane Somerhalder in it, has Ving Rhames in it. It's good in a sense because it reminds me of Doomsday. It reminds me of, it's got Jason Statham and Sylvester Stallone in it, and they're trying to escape a prison. Similar to that. I really enjoy watching this film. Every so often I'll rewatch it again. It still holds up for me. It's still as enjoyable. It's still as heart pounding. It's brilliant. It must be this I was thinking of when I was thinking about Taken, that I didn't have one of them, because I have all 3 of the transporters apart from that one that Jason Statham wasn't in. I don't have that one. As you can see, there's not many special features in this, and if you haven't already figured this out, I don't like commentaries, I don't watch them, I don't find them entertaining at all. This is, for me, I like this film because it keeps you intrigued, it keeps you watching, it keeps you thinking about what's happening, but at the same time it's not really something you need to be totally switched on. It's not a thinker of a film, it just it just keeps you watching and it's good. But again, I don't think it needed a trilogy. I'm going to skip over these quite quickly because I don't really know what you can say about them. This one, number 3, stands out for me simply because it has Robert Nepper in it. Did it need to be a trilogy? Do we need to see lots of Jason Statham with his shirt off? Yes. I don't think it necessarily needed to be a trilogy for me, says the one who has all 3 of them. This was an excellent film. I am not a fan of Clive Owen. I really don't like it. Him, even. Felt like in King Arthur, he ruined the entire film for me. But then so did Keira Knightley. This is the film that kind of made me think Clive Owen, he's still not perfect. He never will be in my opinion. But this is a really like heart-stopping film. And it makes you think about different things, about what's happening, about what you would do in this kind of situation as well. I would highly recommend this if you want to give your kids a scare. Yes, I'm sorry, I have this. I actually went into HMV on Princess Street in Edinburgh not long before it closed, and I got this for like dead cheap. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but considering it was 3 films, it was ridiculously cheap, and I snapped it up. I love the Twilight films, I love the Twilight books. I don't like Breaking Dawn as a book, I prefer Breaking Dawn as a film. For me, I remember reading that on the beach in Gran Canaria and just not loving Breaking Dawn at all. I don't know how I would feel now having seen the film, going back and rereading the book, if Breaking Dawn would work any better for me. Speaking of Breaking Dawn, I obviously have Breaking Dawn Part 1 and Part 2. They went down the Harry Potter route of splitting the last book into 2 films. Don't think, for me, it needed to be split into 2 films. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about this splitting the last books into 2 films business. A bit strange. It's kind of leaves you hanging for like the year and whatever it's going to be in between the 2 films. For me, first part of Breaking Dawn and the way it ended was good. I liked that. It was one of those ones that did actually keep you like thinking, okay, this is what's going to happen. I know this. Who's seen the original Vacation films? I am actually interested in re-seeing them again after watching this film. I was expecting this to be absolute nonsense. I was really thinking this isn't going to be good. But I got it on Lovefilm anyway, and I actually ended up really enjoying it. It was really funny. It wasn't, for me, a patch on the original films. You do have the appearance by Chevy Chase in it, obviously. I mean, you couldn't have a vacation movie and not have him in it. Everyone makes such a fuss about Chris Hemsworth or whoever it is. No, it's Chris Hemsworth, it's not Liam Hemsworth. Everyone makes a big deal about him in it. That bit was just, wasn't that special. It was a bit weird, kind of wacky. But I suppose that's what these films are. Hopefully I'll get the originals on Blu-ray again at some point. So here you have Valentine's Day, another one of the New Year's Eve, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day films. They're out there at the moment. This one, for me, it was good with all the stories. I wasn't really keen on Taylor Swift and Taylor Lautner in it, though. That was my only kind of quibble about this. Otherwise, it's full of kind of heartwarming, interlinked storylines. I think I preferred this better than the book. This is a true story, so there's a biography of the actual characters, of the actual people that went through this. I'm not sure I actually liked the biography. I still have it, but ultimately, for me, I prefer the film of this. I think it was really good, really heartwarming, really sweet, and just heartbreaking at the same time. I need to go back and rewatch this film again because I love it so much. I remember loving it originally when it first came out, when I was going through my whole Keanu Reeves phase, which has never really ended. It's such a heartwarming special film. I love the wine, the grape crushing. I love everything about it. Again, this is not a Region B Blu-ray. It's from another region. I can't remember which region. I think I got it on eBay and I opened it to test that it would actually work on my Blu-ray player, and it did. I don't care what anyone says, these Keanu Reeves films are good. Here is War of the Roses. Obviously I haven't seen this film yet. I don't know what it's like. I just saw it when I was looking for the Blu-rays of Romancing the Stone and Jewel of the Nile, so I thought, well, I'll pick this one up as well, get around to watching it at some point and seeing what it is like since it features the same actors. Water for Elephants. Again, this film is based on a book. I would recommend reading the book. I think the book and the film for me are the same. There's bits I liked about the book, there's bits I liked about the film. None of them are particularly that stand out. I just think they work. They both work, they're both good. There's some heartbreaking moments which you'll know if you've read or you've watched the film as well. I love this film. I wasn't expecting to like it. I actually really like Will Poulter. I remember him from like the Narnia films when he first appeared, and I really love him. I think he's funny, I think he's brilliant. I wasn't that keen on Jason, whatever, you know what his name is, it's right there. And I wasn't keen on Emma Roberts. Obviously Jennifer Aniston, anyone could have been in her role. It is a Jennifer Aniston vehicle, but it is well worthwhile seeing. I haven't watched it again. I do like the extras where they break into the Friends theme tune. That's brilliant. What to expect when you're expecting. This is another one of those multiple people, like Valentine's Day, New Year's Eve. It's one of those ones that has multiple characters in it. It's got Jennifer Lopez. It's got quite a few lovable characters. Got quite a few strange characters. Well worth watching. Probably not if you're a mum to be, but I enjoyed watching it. I'm not a mum to be. I don't have any children. I think it's quite good that they went from the book, which is quite a popular book among mothers to be, and I think they kind of made their own little story out of it. Included guys in it as well, because I thought that was quite unusual and quite different. When Harry Met Sally. Funny story about this. I didn't actually like this when I first saw it. I don't know what I didn't like about it. Whether it was just too slow at that point for me or what. But I enjoy it now as I've grown up and rewatched it. And it should be on steelbook, or there should be a special edition, something like that. Kind of looking back on it with Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan now. Guess what? I also think it should be a book. This, for me, was absolutely brilliant. I loved it. I loved the story. I loved everything about it. I didn't like the book. I own the book, or I have owned the book, and I've read the book. And for me, they're polar opposites, really. I don't know how they managed to get such a good film from such an average book, really. Well worth seeing if you haven't already seen it. Don't know if I would recommend the book. If you've seen the film, maybe read the book as well. You can probably get it for quite cheap. We're getting there, guys. We're on the X's. Obviously the only X-Men X film that I own. I got this on one of the Black Friday deals, I feel like, or something along those lines, because it has all of them up until Apocalypse, which is coming up next. I recently watched Logan, and I'm kinda, I don't know what to say without ruining Logan for anyone who hasn't seen it. All of the X-Men films, didn't particularly like The Last Stand, and I didn't like First Class because I don't like James McAvoy. But I've liked the rest of the films. I like Days of Future Past because I like the whole time travel aspect to it. Logan has, I'm not sure how to say it without ruining anything, Logan is one of probably the most downbeat films in the X-Men series. If you're including them all together, like all the Wolverine films, Logan is still a Wolverine film. It's very downbeat. It's kind of heartbreaking a little bit. That's all I'm going to say. And we have X-Men Apocalypse, which was good. I enjoyed this one. James McAvoy is... I just don't know how I feel about him as Charles. I can understand why they're going back, but the one thing I'm never going to be sure of is they can bring some of the characters back as younger versions, but as far as I remember, it's been quite a few years since I saw the first film. I don't think they'll ever bring back a younger Wolverine, because when he came into it he was already like, not old, but he was in like whatever, his 30s or something like that. For me, they've kind of shot themselves in the foot a wee bit there, because they're never going to be able to bring back a young Wolverine and not tamper with the timeline a wee bit. I don't have any Y films on Blu-ray, but I do have a Z. I do have Zack and Mary Make a Porno, which is funny. Obviously you have Jay Muse in this as well. Silent Bob doesn't make an appearance because he was too busy directing this at the time. Kind of saw this and saw Knocked Up, and it was kind of Seth Rogen both times. He's not as bad as I thought he was going to be. I thought he could have been a lot worse. I do think him and Elizabeth Banks together were quite good. Haven't seen it probably since it originally came out, so I'm going to need to go back and rewatch it again. I don't agree with this bit. Critics promise if you liked The 40-Year-Old Virgin. I hated it. Knocked Up, it was alright. And Superbad, I haven't seen Superbad. I just think this is a funny film. Jay Muse steals the show as usual. It's probably well worth seeing. Guys, that's actually the end of my Blu-ray collection as it was. I may go back at some point and do like other Blu-rays that I have, like my TV shows, my Friends, Lost, Prison Break, Rocky, that kind of thing, because those are all sitting just down there. No, they're not, they're just sitting down there, wrong shelf. So you can see them just there just now. I think I might leave it a little while before I do that though. But it's quite fun because I can put them up and then I can be ahead of my films at the moment, like of my videos on YouTube. So at the moment it's September and I'm into the middle of October with films recording, because I'm trying to upload every Sunday, so I've got quite a few scheduled to go at the moment. Hopefully you've enjoyed this little look into my Blu-ray collection. Also you've seen my steelbook collection. I will do an update at some point because I have bought more steelbooks, i.e. Logan, since I last recorded my steelbooks. So at some point I will do an updated video. If you'd like to see anything, please let me know in the comments down below. If you'd like to discuss any film, do so. And I will see you guys again soon.